Welcome back to the 60 Titan YouTube channel, and today we're going to be adding some very tasteful mods to my 60 Power Stroke. To start off, we are going to be adding this billet bumper insert to match the Harley Davidson grill on my 60. Secondly, I custom made some emblems for my grill and rear tailgate on the 60. We are also going to be adding the aluminum coolant reservoir from Billet Performance on the 60 Power Stroke as well, to kind of help top off some of the bolt-on mods that you can get from Billet Performance. And for the third and final thing, I bought these intercooler pipes off Marketplace, and we're going to see how well they bolt up to the 60, because there's a chance that they do not fit. Went and got them, talked with a guy, and he's just like, oh, by the way, and he says, I don't know if they're going to fit or not. I tried to put them on my 60, they wouldn't fit. We tried putting them on my buddies. We couldn't figure it out, so that's why I sold them for 60 bucks. They're like 150. I got them a little cheaper, so I'm going to see what works, and if they don't, I mean, I won't be out of a lot of money, but I guess we'll see. And before we hop into it, make sure you guys like and subscribe so you guys can keep up to date on our 60 and 6.7 Power Stroke builds. Just recently, we installed a 20-inch light bar from Sylvania on our 6.7 Power Stroke. Now, luckily, we were able to wire these up to my auxiliary switch number 2 on my 6.7, so very clean job. We ran it through here, through the firewall, plugged it into the switches. Honestly, this light bar from Sylvania is a very nice added touch, and not only is it nice, it's bright as hell. So I'll also be linking that below in the description. Highly recommend them. Now, this 20-inch light bar is backed by a lifetime limited warranty. So that just means you got to make sure you register it and they'll either replace it. Now, this does have a spot and flood combo, 9,210 lumens. So this bad boy is packing a hell of a punch. Now, we'll end up making a separate video for that on TikTok. So make sure you guys keep your eye out on there. The installation on that was relatively easy and well worth the time, just for the fact of being able to see better at night. And if you're like me and live out in the country, you need a light bar because you have a very high chance of hitting a deer out here. So whether you're an off-road adventure type of person, have a daily driver, or use your truck for the fields while you're farming or something like that, this is a light bar for you. Now, the only thing that sucks is it's super, super windy. You can kind of see it in the trees and everything. So it kind of sucks for recording because it makes everything even chillier. I'm not a fan of the cold, and I'm not a fan of the wind when it's cold, so that doesn't help whatsoever. God, that is hard to do with. So this is what we're dealing with over here. These are my factory intercooler pipes that are super disgusting from all the soot and everything. We wanted to go ahead and replace this reservoir to match the air deflector shield from Billet Performance, as well as our aluminum wire loom holder for your harness. So I think with this coolant reservoir, it's going to add a very nice touch, plus the new pipes, and then we'll be throwing on the hood stack, so it'll look a lot cleaner. Now, if we go inside for a minute, I can show you guys my emblems that I made. So these I have my girlfriend's cookbook and stuff. I had them weighted down because I had to glue them together, and I want to make sure that they would stick as best as they could. But dude, these came out freaking sick. And I know everyone's going to be like, but you don't have a King Ranch. Why do you have King Ranch emblems on your XLT? Well, because eventually we're going to turn our 6.0 into a real King Ranch. So the way that I had built these is they come like this from Amazon. Very bland and boring, which actually matches my truck almost dead on. A little bit brighter than what I got. Emblem's going to sit just like that on the front of the grill. And then the same thing for the other one that I have for the back of the 6.0. And I think that's going to look really, really good. And the reason that I did all of this is because I got a quote for $500 to do my factory badges. And so I'm just like, dang, that's a little bit of a lot of money, you know, for some badges. I chose my own route because I am $50 in both of those emblems. These emblems were like $18.99 a piece off Amazon, which I'll have them linked. The wrap cost me $20, which I was able to wrap my shocks chrome on the front and the backs of my 6.7. Had enough left over to do the emblems. So that wrap went, honestly, a long ways and did plenty for me. So that's where you always got to adapt. You're like, okay, I might not have a lot of money right now, but what's the best way I can save my money while also making it look good? So I tested out a few things. This worked out the best. This looks the best. And that's why I'm trying to give you guys that tip. All right, progress update. So went ahead, took apart the pipes on the passenger side, started looking at it, and I just don't know what it is with these pipes, but they're just not for a 6.0. Like I couldn't, so I was just trying to see, because they trimmed up this old boot that I guess came with the kit that they bought. So I'm like, why were they trimming up these boots or whatever? And they said they had to be cut to fit. So I'm like, okay, I guess that kind of makes sense. Couldn't get it on there. The angle's just so much different. Like this needs to be pitched more to the left. And so when like you mount it up, it matches for the most part. You know, that pipe needs to be a harder down angle. And then this one's just way off on both those angles. Like this is too much of a straight shot. This one goes like this and then angles back in. This is just straight and it's like, oh crap. Hey guys, put the angle on that. Oh yeah. So it's like they tried fixing it like midway through. So I don't, whoever's kit this is, or I don't know, maybe they just ordered a kit for 7.3. Hell, I don't know. I don't even know how this goes, but yeah, so I sat there messing with it 15 minutes, seeing if maybe I could get it to fit, but there's no way. I could force it on there, but don't really want to do that on this truck. So I don't know. I guess we're going to drop what we're doing on that. Move on to the coolant reservoir. This part's not going to be fun because this is where coolant goes everywhere. So my plan is going to consist of pulling the hose and everything apart, cramming some rags inside of the holes, and then we'll see how that does. Got both our rags ready, and we're gonna start letting this baby flow. We're just gonna wing it, boys. We're just gonna wing it. That's all we can do. Time to let her flow. Gravity is not our friend today. Okay. Okay. We kind of got one hole sealed up. Got our second hole sealed, so it doesn't leak out as bad. And there you go. So that wasn't too bad. I learned from the first, I think 2 times I did this, I don't know why, but mine had cracked at the bottom right here. So I went to replace it and I just pulled it apart, dumped coolant everywhere. The second time, the one that I ordered, it only lasted a week or so. I don't know why that one broke too. So I put 3 different ones of those in there. The other one was warranted. I think it was already messed up in shipping or something. But yeah, this is what we did here. Put a rag on it and looks good. Okay. And then this bad boy here is just gonna slip into a hole back there and then bolt up here, I guess. So there's that coolant reservoir. She looks mighty fine. Like that, it's nothing insane, but with all these little things that we've added to the engine bay, that just, gosh, that looks so good. It just pops so well and so worth it. So yeah, very satisfied with that. So I'm gonna hold off on that. I don't have coolant for it, so I gotta go run in town for that. But what I started doing here is removing my emblem. Thing that sucks is I just bought this one right here and put on there. It was chrome and black, but I want obviously chrome and red. But this is actually an F-150 emblem that I got off eBay. And I was looking at the pictures. I'm like, dude, this looks like it'll fit. So I ended up just breaking off that tab because it's not centered there. Obviously it's offset more to the left. And so I broke off that tab. It slid right into these 2 holes back here, and then it just stuck, and it didn't look bad, but kind of sucks because that's a little bit of a waste, because that was actually a really good emblem find for this truck. Got that one off, but this one too, I just got to clean off this residue, and then we can slap the emblems on there. So this process is actually pretty easy, and I just wanted to show you guys really quick just for future reference, because a lot of people don't like showing stuff like this. But stuff like this isn't difficult to remove. I mean, we'll end up using some Goo Gone or brake cleaner to get this residue, but all that I'm doing is, you know, heating it in front like this, and then running the scraper behind it, and clumps like that. Now, for reference, like if this piece here, it's cold, you cannot scrape that off. Like I can even grab this little scraper right here, and it just gets stuck, and it's hard to get, and it just kind of rolls over itself like that. But whenever you heat it up, the whatever adhesion stuff this is that they use, tape or whatever, it comes off a lot easier with heat, because then it's just going to rip off in pieces like that. So back to applying heat, but we're just going to go right in front of it barely, glide this behind it like this, and just scrape it off. That freaking easy. So once I got all the heavy stuff off, all it is just some of this goop that's left over, and I'm just using some good old Goo Gone. But there's that, and then here's that emblem. It's going to sit over this. I'm not too worried about getting 110% of that other stuff off, just because of the fact that this is going to cover it, and it's very light stuff as it is. We're going to try and center it, and she's on there. Wait, do I have that upside down? No, I don't have it upside down. Okay, I freaked out for a minute. Hell yeah. I like it. It's like a little, the only thing I don't like is it kind of looks like a little red nose. So now I'm not going to unsee it, but I think once we get our headlights in, that'll finish wrapping up that. I'm going to go ahead and throw the back one on there. That looks so sick. That looks awesome. And the cool thing about doing this stuff, guys, is you can say you did this on your own. I made that. Dude, who did your emblems? I did. Really? Just like these taillights. I built these. And everyone's always like, bro, where'd you get those headlights? Or taillights? Who built them? I did. I made them. So like, it's always a very gratifying feeling whenever someone's bragging or looking at something on your truck that you made on your own, and knowing that you didn't have to pay somebody to do it. There you go. I'm gonna try and center that. Does that look pretty center right there?
Let me see. I think so.
That looks good. I think that's it.
Good to me.
Yeah. So there's the back now. That looks sick. That looks cool. The only thing that sucks now is these taillights kind of look off, because that's like
they're black.
That's like the only black thing that we have on here now. I mean, what is that? Oh well, I got a new one on that, so I'm not worried about it. But yeah, so now we got, I think this is the only thing that's going to have black on it. But I like these emblems. The only thing that is wrong with this, if you look really close, you can kind of see like a little crack here and right here. When I had these pulled apart, I ended up doing that by accident. But I mean, I really don't care. I made them, and I am about $40 in on 2 emblems plus the $20 for wrap, but I did all my shocks and these with it. So I don't know, I'm $40 in on emblems. And if I wanted to redo those, it would take me 2 hours to probably do it. The cure time, resticking them back, took 2 hours to set, and then full 24 hours cure. So all you have to do is set a book on it and some weight, and you're good. But those look
so good.
Pretty good. Our next thing, and that's going to be installing this Billet bumper insert. So now we'll be matching that. That's going to change the whole front end of this thing. It's going to look so good. That's crazy. But my girlfriend's here, so we're going to go get coolant, and then I'm going to work on this next. So currently, I'm trying to get this thing mounted on there. I almost forgot to record, and the directions are horrible. What did I expect? And the brackets that it comes with don't make any sense, because these line up here at the top, and they're supposed to screw into something that says use your factory holes. I don't have factory holes. So I'm trying to level it out and see what it looks like with just these two brackets. I mean, I'm not driving this truck anymore. Like this one's, it's literally going to sit and it's just going to be a show truck and no more using it like a truck. This thing's put in its time, and that's probably going to upset some people. Like, oh, you don't actually use your truck. It's like, no, I indeed do not, because this truck's made me a lot of money. It's put in its time, and it's time to retire it. I'm not going to be like the government and be like, like, I'm going to work you till you're 70, and then maybe I'll think about retirement for you. And then she's like, okay, it's time for retirement. Here's $300 a month. You've earned this. Here you go. Pat on the back. This 6.0, it's in retirement. So we're gonna make sure we take good care of her so that she can keep on rolling coal for years to come. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay. So I finally figured it out, and it just took a little bit of thinking. So on these brackets, they are meant to face this way. So on the inside of this bumper, about in this area, there's a hole that goes in like this. So that gets bolted there. Your grill piece is sitting right here. So you want it pushing it out so it's sitting like flush against the inside of the bumper. If you put it like this, well, this is going to suck it back in when you put your little screw into that hole right there. So I had this one on backwards. That's why it was pulling it back in. So now I flipped it the original way. This side's sitting really good, nice, like the way I want. And this one is now going to be fixed. So they were very basic directions. Like obviously every kit or anything you buy has like basic directions. And then I honestly could be dumb. Like for somebody that knows, that makes this product, you know, they're going to be like, I mean, it's pretty simple and straightforward, which it is, but in the directions, it doesn't say to remove this bumper, which I should have removed it regardless. All it said was to remove that. So I'm just like, okay, whatever. It shouldn't be that hard. And it's not hard. It's just time consuming because the diagram and the directions that they give you in it are black and white, and then they're grainy, just like really crappy pictures. So it's like, okay, like if you're going to give me directions, at least make sure they're in color or, you know, something. But they just did kind of the bare minimum on the directions part. So obviously with a little bit of common sense, stepping back, looking at it, you kind of start to figure out what's going on with it. And so then there's the final fit. That's actually, dude, the 6.0 is not going to look the same whatsoever. Like the more stuff that I do to it, it's just, most people would think like, oh, that truck's done. There's no more that you can do to it. But then you kind of just start sitting back and then start, what can I do for this? What can I do for that? I've seen like Harley Davidsons with this, they have those little mesh deals in it. And I'm like, that would be kind of cool. I was never really a huge fan of it. Once I kind of seen pictures of it on Google and everything, I'm like, this is pretty cool. So I found it for a 6.4, but I just couldn't find it for a 6.0. It took a little bit of digging and I was able to find that inner piece there. So it's really not difficult. It was time consuming because the directions were bad. But other than that, that install took me 30 minutes, but because I was messing around with a lot of stuff and it took me a minute to figure it out. I don't know. You guys tell me, what do you guys think of this so far? Me, I freaking love it. I think it's cool, but it's starting to rain. Not really bad, but I'm going to go ahead and call it a day because we got probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours worth of editing to do. And I want to get this video up for you guys as soon as possible. So sorry we weren't able to get the hood stack done. And there was something else that I was going to get done for you guys. Oh, the intercooler pipe. So 2 things we couldn't get done. Sorry about that, but stay tuned because next week, fingers crossed, maybe I'll get the headlights in and we'll be doing a headlight installation plus my inner fenders and then throwing the intercooler pipes back on the truck. If not, I'm probably just going to order some tonight, get some new ones and call it a day. But thank you guys for watching. I greatly appreciate it. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe. That helps our page a lot so we can continue making these videos and everything, and just helps and motivates us every single time we see that 1,000 views get broken. Just really motivates us to keep pushing more and more. So thank you guys for supporting us. I really appreciate every single one of you guys that watch my videos consistently. I hope you guys have a good day and we'll see you on the next one.